Hi Tacoma, welcome back to your third grade TV classroom. Today is Monday, November 9th, and I'm Mrs. Oslin. Let's start by checking in with our zone. Think about what emotion are you feeling? Think about your I message. You'll remember an I message sounds like I feel because I'm going to practice sharing my iMessage with Rafa. Rafa, I'm feeling tired because it's a Monday and I'm always tired on Mondays. Now, you take a moment to share your iMessage with your learning buddy, someone who's in the room with you, or with me on the screen. I'm going to remind you of our 3 personal standards. Our 3 personal standards are the decisions that we make and the way we act and behave when we're coming together to learn. Put a finger up and say each personal standard with me. Show respect, make good decisions, solve problems. And we've been doing a lot of thinking lately about how we can solve problems because there's lots of different ways to solve problems. Today, we're going to continue talking about using the peace path to solve a conflict. And you'll remember the peace path is a way to non-violently solve a problem that you have with someone else. And we learned this last week, but we're going to review it this week because it's really, really, really important. And it's not easy. So think about a conflict that you've had with someone in the last week. Now, turn and tell your learning buddy about the conflict that you have, and were you able to use the peace path? Go ahead. Rafa, I had a conflict with my kids because I asked them several times to clean up their Legos, and then I stepped on a Lego. I did not use the peace path. I got angry and I yelled. And it was a lose-lose. Did you have a situation like mine? I was feeling really, really angry and I did not use my stop and stay cool steps, and instead I yelled. That is not a peaceful way to solve a conflict. So I'm going to think about that today and how next time, because there's probably going to be a next time when there's Legos on the floor at my house, next time how I can use the peace path to find a way to solve this conflict. We're going to review the steps to the peace path. There's 3 of them. The first step is to tell the problem. This is where you think of and use and share your I message, sharing with the other person how you feel. And it's important to use an I message because it gives us an opportunity to own our emotions and to tell the other person how we are feeling and why we're feeling that way. The other important part of telling the problem is when we have a conflict with someone, it's important for that person to say it back, to say, you feel because That way we know, I know, that the other person has understood what I've said, and that person knows that they understand and know how I feel. So the first step is tell the problem. It's also important to think about your feelings thermometer. I'm thinking back to my conflict and I was feeling a 4 or a 5, and I said and did something that I regretted. I yelled when I should not have yelled. What I should have done was think about how I was feeling, and I should have gone through my stop and stay cool steps. I should have thought about how I'm feeling on the feelings tree. And you'll remember the stop and stay cool steps are to first say, I feel like I'm losing control. Practice saying that with me. I feel like I'm losing control. and then you stop. Before I yelled, I should have said, I feel like I'm losing control, and I should have stopped. I should have given myself a chili hug. Let's practice that now. I should have practiced breathing in and out for 5 seconds. Let's practice that now. And we're practicing these steps so that next time I have a conflict with someone and I feel like I'm losing control, I know exactly what to do and I don't have to think about it. So let's practice our breathing. Then we are cool and ready to share our I message with the person we're having a conflict with. The next step in the stop and stay cool steps is to brainstorm solutions. This is where both people think about the possible win-win solutions to solve this conflict. You'll remember a win-win solution is one in which both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the situation. Now, thinking about my conflict of Legos being on the ground and my solution was yelling, that's a lose-lose because nobody got what they want, the Legos weren't picked up, and nobody felt good. My kids didn't feel good about me yelling. I didn't feel good about me yelling. That's a lose-lose. So, some possible win-win conflict solvers are share, take turns, apologize, compromise, get help. That means if you can't think of anything, ask someone else for some help. You could ignore it once, take a break, or any other ideas. Now, step 2 of the peace path is brainstorming. Which one of these win-win conflict solvers will help solve your conflict? Step 3 is to solve the problem. This is where both people come together and talk about what their ideas were for a win-win solution, and then together you decide which one you're going to try to solve your conflict. Now, I have a video for you, and this has some characters. Chili from Give Yourself a Chili Hug and his friend, and they have a conflict. And let's see how they solve this conflict.
It was my turn. You've been hogging a swing all day, Chili.
I have not, Buster. It's my turn.
Oh, my.
No, it isn't, Chili.
Yes, it is. You should wait for your turn.
Hey,
My
guys.
turn.
What's
My
up?
He's not.
It's now.
It
Chili's been
sounds
holding
like you're
swing.
fighting.
He's a swing hog, Betty.
I'm not.
Part 2.
It's my turn, Buster.
Oh, my. It sounds like you guys should try the peace path.
What's the peace path?
The peace path helps you solve problems. I'll show you. Buster and Chili, this is the peace path. You're at step 1. Tell the problem. Tell Chili why you're angry.
He keeps swinging.
Don't tell me. Tell Chili. Let him know how you feel and why. Use an I message.
I feel mad because you've been swinging for a long time, Chili.
Now, Chili, say it back. Tell Buster what he just said to you.
Buster, you said that you feel mad because you think I've been swinging for too long. But
Chili? Everyone gets a chance to explain their problem. So tell Buster how you're feeling. What's your I message? We want to make sure your feelings are heard too.
Buster, I feel frustrated when you want me to stop swinging. So soon.
Buster, say it back. Tell Chili what you heard him say.
You said you feel frustrated when I want you to stop swinging.
That's good. Now, you can move on to step 2.
Go.
Brainstorm solutions. The two of you must come up with a way to solve this problem together, and it has to be a win-win solution. That means it's a solution that you both feel good about. So, each of you suggest a solution that you think will solve the problem in a fair way. What could that be?
I guess we could take turns. I could let Chili swing for 1 minute, but only if he promises to let me have the swing next.
Okay, maybe you could check your watch and make sure you have a 5-minute turn and I have a 5-minute turn.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're ready for step 3. Solve the problem. Have you agreed on a win-win solution that you both feel good about?
Yes! I will swing for 1 more minute, then it's Buster's turn.
Right. Then we each have a 5-minute turn.
We have a solution!
Then try it out and see if it works.
Whee! This is fun!
It's been a minute, Chili.
But I'm not done yet! Whee!
Chili!
What was your agreement with Buster, Chili?
Oh, okay. I guess it's your turn, Buster.
So, Chili, are you happy with the way things turned out?
Yes! I get another turn in 5 minutes!
Are you happy with your solution, Buster?
Yes. Hey, Chili, I've got an idea. We can share the swing. Hey, we found another win-win solution.
Look!
Whee!
Now, think about what would have happened if Chili and his friend hadn't used the peace path. They might have gotten in a fight. They might have said or done things that they regret or that could have hurt them or someone else. That's why it's so important to use the peace path when we have a conflict with someone. Now, here's a situation that I'm going to tell you about, and I want you to think about if it was a win-win solution, and if it wasn't a win-win solution, if it was a lose-lose solution or a win-lose solution, what could a possible win-win solution have been? There are 2 students, and they have 3 cookies, and each student gets 1 cookie. But there's an extra cookie. So one of the students says, I want it, and just grabbed it and ate it. And the other student says, I wanted that, and they start arguing over the cookie. Now, was that a win-win solution? Or a win-lose solution? Or was it a lose-lose solution? Stop and think. Turn and tell your learning buddy what type of solution that was. And now, show me with your hands. If it was a win-win solution, do this. If it was a win-lose solution, do this. If it was a lose-lose solution, do this. It definitely wasn't a win-win solution because both people didn't get what they want and both people don't feel good about it. You might have said it was a lose-lose solution because nobody got what they want. Well, I guess one person got their cookie, but nobody feels good about it. What could a win-win solution have been? 2 students and 1 cookie. Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what would be a win-win solution to this conflict. Rafa, I think the students could share the cookie. They could split it in half. You might have had a similar idea to mine, or you might have thought of your own win-win solution. There are many options for win-win solutions. Okay, here's another situation. Two kids want to do some gardening, and they both want to use the shovel, but there's only one shovel. How could these students have a win-win solution to this conflict? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what would be an appropriate win-win solution for this conflict. Rafa, I think that they could compromise. I think one person could think, do they really need the shovel? Or is there another tool that they could use? You might have said that they could take turns. You might have said they could find something else to do where they both use a different tool. There are a lot of different ways to have a win-win solution to a conflict. Here's one more. A student shows up at school with brand new basketball shoes, and they're red and bright, and they make her feel like she's really fast. Someone in her class says, "Those shoes are ugly. They don't make you fast." How could we solve this conflict? Have some think time. Now, I'm going to point out one of our win-win conflict solvers is ignore it once. And that means our student who has the basketball shoes could choose to ignore the other student who's making fun of their new tennis shoes. But if it keeps going, it's not appropriate to ignore it. It needs to be addressed. So you could ignore it once, and then if it keeps happening, you would need to use an iMessage. "I feel hurt because you're making fun of my shoes." And then the other person would need to make amends or apologize, which means they need to sincerely say, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made fun of your shoes." And then it's up to the other person to either accept the apology or say, "Thank you for apologizing." I want you to continue to practice using the peace path to help you solve conflicts. Step 1 of the peace path is to tell the problem. And this is only after you are cool. If you're feeling hot and angry and in the red, go through your stop and stay cool steps first before you start on the peace path. Tell the problem. Both people share an iMessage for how they're feeling and why, and then the other person says it back. Both people brainstorm, which means think of possible win-win solutions for this conflict. These are some of our win-win conflict solvers. Share, take turns, apologize are the ones that we've been talking about the most. Remember, if you find yourself in a conflict with someone and you can't think of a solution, definitely ask for help. Then both people have a conversation about what they thought would be a good win-win solution, and together they decide which one they're going to try. So I'm going to challenge you to use the peace path this week to help you solve conflict. I'm also going to remind you of one of your reading strategies. When you are independently reading today and every day, pay attention to words that you don't know or understand and use the clues around the word to help you figure it out. These are also some strategies that you can use when you're paying attention to, are you understanding what you're reading, and are you understanding specific words in your text? If you're reading and you find yourself losing focus, if you find yourself thinking about something else, go back to these how to stay focused strategies to help you refocus. Continue adding to your reading log, paying attention to what kinds of books you're reading and what how long you're reading and whether or not you're focused. And then you can send this to your teacher at the end of the week. I also want to remind you that there is a new reading and writing packet that you can pick up from your teacher, and you will need it for our new reading and writing units that we're starting this week. I also want to remind you that Wednesday is November 11th, which is Veterans Day, which is a day where we honor the people who have served our country. There is no school, so we will not be here at the TV classroom, and your teacher will not be in your team's meetings for you that day. So just expect that on Wednesday. Now is your 5-minute break. You're going to gather the materials that you will need for math, which are your whiteboard and marker, your learning buddy, and your counters. Also, take care of your needs to be ready to go with math with Mrs. Wally. Thank you so much for talking about the Peace Path with me today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Welcome back, third graders. I'm going to just adjust myself here in the chair for a second. There we go. That's better. So, happy Monday. How was your lesson with Miss Oslin? It sounded great to me. I give myself lots of chilly hugs because I get frustrated sometimes, and that's okay. So today we are going to do Make It Monday. Are you ready? Let's look. How could you make 361? Yep, we can always pull it apart by place value. Woo, that's not what I wanted. That's not, friends, every time, doesn't it? Man, I think it defaults to yellow. And so what happens is I click highlighter and then it's yellow and then you can't see it. 300 plus 60 plus 1 is 361. What's another way you could make 361? You could do 150 plus 150 plus 61. Okay. What's another way? 360 plus 1. Yeah. 300 plus 61. Are there a lot of ways to make 361? Yeah. We should think about how we made 361 and see if that can help you with the next problem. 378. Now, 378 is an even number, isn't it? It means we can split it in half. Remember what 78 in half is? Well, 70 in half is 35. So 78 in half would be 39. So if 78 and a half is 39, what's 300 in half? 150. You think 189 plus 189? Well, let's see. What is 9 plus 9? 18. What's 8 plus 8? 6. Let's do standard algorithm and check it. Let's see if our mental math was correct. 9 plus 9 is 18. 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 more is 17. Is it correct? Did we do it? We did it. Oh, that's awesome. What's another way we could make 378? Yeah, 300 plus 70 plus 8. Ooh, 189 times 2. That's a good way to do it. Nice work, friends. So today is a review day. We've been learning to decompose, right? Factors to help us solve problems. Today we're going to add that and do story problems with factors of 7, 8, and 9. Now, drawing arrays for factors of 7, 8, and 9 is not a very efficient strategy. I was just practicing drawing an array and it took me more than 2 minutes and I didn't even finish it because there were so many dots and they were getting all wavy and all over the place and it got really frustrating. So if you need to build an array, I would suggest you use counters and not draw. But I really want you to try and get yourself away from building an array for times 9. I really want to see if we can get that decomposing the factor without building the array. Okay? But if you need to, please do. You can always use an array, just know it's going to take you a little bit longer. So, fill in the blanks to show a way to break apart 6 times 9, then solve. So, what would you do? 6 times what? Times plus what? We did this yesterday. What was the way that you liked? I remember the way I liked to break apart 9. Do you remember? Yeah, 5 plus 4. So now, what would that look like with the distributive property written out? 6 times, 5 plus 6 times 4. Excellent. So 6 times 9 is, what's 6 times 5? 30. What's 6 times 4? 24. What's 30 plus 24? It's 54. Ta-da! Problem solved. Nice work. So let's take a look. It says Rumi set up a model car display at the toy store. He has 7 shelves to use. So can you see it? 7 shelves. And he fits 8 cars on each shelf. So how many model cars does Rumi display? Or if he was trying to figure out how many cars he could fit, what's the total amount of cars he could display on his shelves? 7 shelves, 8 cars. What are you going to do to solve that? Yeah, look what they did. 7 times 4, right? What's 7 times 4? 28. If you didn't know, you could do 7 times 2 is 14 and double it, and that's 28. So what's 28 plus 28? What is it? 56. So how many cars does Rumi display? 56. See how doing that mental math makes it really quick? Much quicker than drawing out all the dots, splitting it, counting every single dot. We can use what we know about that model and apply it to the numbers. Let's keep going. All right. Joe has shelves, it's another shelf problem, with 9 books on each shelf. How many books does Joe have altogether? And it says show how to break apart or decompose one of the numbers to make the problem easier to solve. So what's happening? There are shelves and books, and he's got to figure out how many books he can fit on all the shelves. Okay? What are we trying to figure out? How many books he has altogether, or how many books he can get on the shelves, right? What do we know? There's 8 shelves and 9 books on each shelf. Go ahead, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to solve. I'm going to solve, Mr. Kevin's not going to show it yet. I'm going to solve while you solve, and then let's see how your answer compares to mine. Are you ready? Here we go. I can do it really fast because I've done this math a lot. It's okay if you're still working. Okay. Are you ready? Let's show them. Did you get 72 books? If so, good job. If not, look at mine and look at yours. Where did you make your mistake? Which part? Was it in decomposing one of the factors? So this part right here, did you mess up with which factors were which and which parts you were decomposing? Or was it the actual facts? That's easy to mess up. Or was it the adding? Which part was your stuck point? Now, if you didn't, great job. We're going to go on to the next problem. But if you did make a mistake, figure out where your mistake was and don't make that same mistake on the next problem. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So my whiteboard's going to disappear. We're going to go on to the next problem. Miles is not sure how to find 5 times 8. He tells you that he knows the multiplication facts for 5, so he knows 8 times 5. Show how Miles can use 8 times 5 to find 5 times 8. How can he use 5 times 8 to show 8 times 5? You might need to draw an array for this one. or use numbers to prove your thinking. Ready? 2 minutes. I'm going to do mine, you're going to do yours, and then we're going to compare. You ready? Okay, Mr. Kevin. Take a look. I showed 8 groups of 5 in an array, and then I made an arrow and went, meow, but I didn't want to waste time drawing it, so I just wrote 5 groups of 8. 5 groups of 8 is 40. So if 5 groups of 8 is 40, and I just pop it up like this, then 8 groups of 5 is 40. I didn't change, I just moved it, right? Yeah. It's called the associative property. It means that with multiplication, your answer, your product will be the same no matter what order your factors are in. They can be this way or they can be this way. What changes is the way the array looks, but the total, the product, doesn't change. It's just like when you add 5 and 4 and then switch it and you have 4 and 5, right? Right. Okay. Erase, reset. Next problem. Athena finds 9 times 7 by breaking apart the 7 into 3 and 4. Which of the following expressions can Athena use? Well, if she broke 7 into 3 and 4, does A show 3 and 4? No. Does B show 7 broken into 3 and 4? Nope. Does C show 7 broken into 3 and 4? Here's the 9. And then the 7, 3, and oh! Did she do it? She did it. Does D show 7 broken into 3 and 4? Nope. So it's this one. It's the 9. Remember, that factor is going to stay the same for both of these. Times, and then we break the 7 into 3, and we break the 7, the other part is 4 because we broke 7 into 3 and 4, right? Yeah, okay. Number 4. Tucker finds 5 times 7 by breaking it apart as shown below. What factor did he decompose? Which one? Did he decompose 5 or decompose 7? Looking at this, what factor did he decompose? I agree, Pebble, it's not 7 because 7's the same there. So it must be the 5. Okay, so he decomposed 5. What did they decompose 5 into? A 3? And then what? What's the other decomposed part of 5 that we need to use? 2, because 5 is made of 3 and 2. So 3 times 7 plus 2 times 7. So which number belongs in the blank? B, 2. 1, would that make sense? 4, would that make sense? 8, would that make sense? No. Okay. Now you're going to solve this one on your own and find the answer, and then we will come back and you will decide, you will see if your answer was correct. Cole has 5 packs of pencils. There are 8 pencils in each pack. He wants to know how many pencils he has in all. The model below shows how he breaks apart one number in the problem. Take a look. Did he break apart the pencils or the groups? That's your hint. Which expression shows how Cole solves the problem? Write the expression on your whiteboard that shows how Cole solved the problem. I'm going to write mine. You're going to write yours. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then we're going to share and see if we have the same answer. Hey, Miss Oslin, can you bring me the sticky note that's next to my computer? Thank you. Miss Oslin's going to have a guest appearance while you work. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. My answer is A. 2 groups of 8 and 3 groups of 8. That is how this person broke it apart. All right. Is each expression equivalent to the product of 6 and 9? That's saying if I multiply 6 times 9, do each of these expressions also equal 6 times 9? Well, we have 6 times 3 plus 6 times 3. What's 3 plus 3? 6. So that would be 6 times 6. So is that equivalent to 6 times 9? No. 6 times 4 plus 6 times 5. Well, what's 4 plus 5? 9. So is that 6 times 9? Yes. Okay. 6 times 6. Mr. Kevin, can you show the whiteboard? Let's work this one out. 6 times, we broke up the number into 6 plus 3. But what is 6 plus 3? 9. So is that equivalent to 6 times 9? Yes. Okay, the next one. 9 times 2 plus 4. What is 2 plus 4? 6. 9 times 6, is that equivalent or the same as 6 times 9? Think about back to that problem where we did the 5 times, I think it was 8, and then we flipped it, right? Are these equivalent? Do they make the same amount? Yes, they do. Okay, 3 times 9 plus 3 times 9. Is that equivalent? The 9s are the same, so the 9 is the factor they didn't break up. So this first factor they broke up, what did they break up? What is 3 and 3? 6. Is 6 times 9 equivalent to 6 times 9? Yes, it is. All right, friends. Today you're going to do these problems again on your own. They're the same problems. But if you're doing them on your own when I'm not here and any of them are not making sense, you need to reach out to your classroom teacher right away or send me an email right away, okay? So this is when we're kind of checking your understanding and making sure you get it. And if not, we want to know because then we can help you understand it, okay? So this is a great page or 2 pages to, if you're struggling, to call your teacher and say, I'm really struggling on page 179, problem 5. I'm not understanding what it means, and they can walk you through it on the phone. All right? Okay, let's check our learning today. Did we draw models? Yes. Did we write an equation or equations to help us solve? Yes. Did we find the product? Yes. Did we explain our thinking? Yes. Did we do it? We did it. Excellent job, 3rd graders. If any of those steps don't make sense, please, please, please reach out to me here at the email or in the mail, the actual mail, like the postman, or reach out to your teacher. Give them a call and let them know what you're struggling with. It's really important. That is you taking responsibility of your learning and shows what an amazing learner you are. So our affirmation today is, today I'm going to be my best self. You get to choose every day if you're going to be your best self no matter what's going on. And your best self one day may look different than your best self another day. So here we go. Deep breath. I'm going to go first. Today, I'm going to be my best self. Your turn. Great job, third graders. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.